This weekend, more so than anything else for the Canes, though, right? Talking about an interesting weekend. It makes me believe in the I guess we'll call it the exhale theory, the deep breath theory. That the Canes, whatever little speed wobbles they've had since they clinched the playoffs, are actually because of that human nature. Whew. All right, let's regroup. That thing, right? The exhale. I do believe on Saturday they very much wanted to end the Rangers season. And it looked like it, right? There was energy, there was a little pop, there was a little extra giddy up in the way they were playing, and that gives me a good feeling. And then Sunday against the Leafs, I think it very obviously they didn't have the same motivation, so there was a little bit less of the pop, a little bit less of the giddy up, and in a weird way that makes me feel okay. Because it tells me they do have a little bit of that switch to flip. Right, Saturday versus the Rangers, Carrier was back, and it took him about 2 seconds on the ice to start throwing his weight around and playing physical and doing the things that Carrier was brought to the Canes to do. Aho and Jarvis continue to buzz and obviously have great chemistry, but it continues to show. Blue line got involved scoring like that. Janke stayed hot like that. I love the play from our guy Chatty, keeping the puck out of the net behind Kochetkov. As I said on Twitter, I think Kochetkov could use a little help from his friends to get his mojo back. Right? If you're there and you can help, find a way. And he did. So Saturday versus the Rangers, and then, by the way, like you did end the Rangers season. It's not the same as beating them in the postseason. It's not. But I'm sure it felt pretty darn good anyway. I'm sure, right? The chants your fans got to sarcastically chant, I'm sure it all felt very, very good. That was Saturday. Sunday, I mean, this is the way I'll describe it. I was double screening it, right? I had the Masters on one screen, had the hockey game on the other, and there wasn't a lot of me going, oh, I haven't seen a shot, right? Like, oh, I forgot to turn back to see Rory. Right? There was a lot of me watching the golf and then going, oh, right, I got to check over here. Just a little bit more lethargic, I guess. Boring would be the way to describe it.
I told Paul Ihander, who hosts the Next Up, he and I were at the game yesterday. During the second period, it kind of felt like preseason energy.
Yeah.
This is preseason game kind of energy.
And that tracked, right? And little things, like it's not only the guys on the ice, right? Which obviously it is, but it's not only them. Something like Jordan Martinook taking the night off, right? Or late afternoon off. It's a weird time to play a hockey game. Jordan Martinook, for the first time in 3 years, not being in the active lineup for the Canes by decision, right? It was veteran rest. That is kind of a nonverbal, like, hey guys, let's make sure we get out of this one like healthy and rested. So that's fine, right? Because now if that is being told, if that is the vibe against the Leafs, suddenly I look back at some of the games since they clinched in the postseason and go, maybe they really were just kind of looking towards the postseason and calling off the dogs a little bit. And by the way, Aho and Jarvis continue buzzing, even in games where everybody else is chilling a little bit. They're still, it's almost like they can't help it. They're like, all right, we'll score one, but we're not going scoreless. That's very, very good for everybody because you want your best players to be peaking going into the postseason. Rod Brind'Amour, after the game, talked about resting guys yet still not being happy with the results.
Well, I mean, you play to win, and I didn't like I said, I didn't love our second period. I thought we were just okay with being okay, and that's not good enough. But I also understand, bigger picture, and guys have played pretty hard here all year, and I thought we played hard in the first. It just, like I said, once you got behind them, you have to tip your hat too. The other team did a real nice job, Toronto, making it hard for us to generate stuff, and especially when they got ahead, they didn't need to really do much, and I tip your hat.
To me, this is where, I don't know if it's an advantage, it's just a little different. This is where you get the full Rod Brind'Amour was a player experience. Right, where other coaches, I mean, you heard him right there, right? Oh, you play to win the game. He started off going full coach speak, and then you almost felt like 2004 Rod Brind'Amour, like tap him on the shoulder and go, "Hey man, they've been playing pretty hard all year," and he went right into like, you know what, they have been playing hard all year, and it is, after the first period we were good, and he became kind of player Brind'Amour instead of Coach Brind'Amour, which is valuable. That's part of what he brings that, somebody that came up being a hard bleep his entire career as a coach wouldn't have.
And he understands that the system that they play on a night in and night out basis is more demanding than probably any other team in the NHL. On a night in and night out basis, the system that they play can be very taxing on the guys. So for them, I'm sure like Jordan Martinook having a day off, and then today there was no practice for the guys. Like he's off his skates for 2 straight days. That's going to feel like an eternity, like a week off essentially for him. With the kind of rest that he's going to get. Orlov and Chatfield, Taylor Hall have all gotten rest recently. I think Gostisbehere and Kotkaniemi might be ready to come back, but hey, you know what? Take a couple extra days. Get the body fully ready to go. I think he understands at this point in the year that, again, there's really nothing for them to play for. Let's keep these guys healthy. Let's figure out a balance of still playing hard, keeping the edge, but again, keeping guys ready to go for the postseason.
And on top of that, you can go back the last 6 seasons, but I know the 2 seasons that I've been here covering them professionally on 99.9. We've said at different points, like you're not judged by what you do in the regular season. You're judged as the Carolina Hurricanes by what you do in the postseason. There are some teams that would be chasing like 105 regular season points because that would measure or mark some kind of high water mark, some kind of achievement. There's 0% chance the Canes look back on this year and go, well, we didn't get it done in the postseason, but at least we have X amount of points in the regular season, or at least we had X amount of wins in the last month. No, like there's very few consolation prizes for this team. They know they play for big prizes. So I'm more open to, or actually I don't want to say more open. I'm less concerned that they won't be able to flip the switch going into the postseason because I saw them do it. By the way, Saturday was not perfect against the Rangers by any stretch, but I did see them kind of like, oh no, we want this one. And then they played pretty darn well for stretches. And then they hit another one. We'd like to have it, but let's not go. If it gets out of hand, we're not just gonna kill ourselves for it. That is the fact that they can do that on back-to-back nights, both at home, right, home crowd buzzing and all those sorts of things. It leaves me more open to the fact that they can kind of flip the switch and go play. And then once you get to the postseason, it comes down to all the things we've been talking about all year. Do your top guys play like top guys? Can your goalies figure it out and play better than they've been playing? Which is a big if, but that's what it comes down to. Can you stay healthy? Can the right guys figure it out? Andrei Svechnikov, Dennis, I know you've been tracking some stats here. Hit us with some numbers.
The last time Andrei Svechnikov scored a goal where the goalie was in net was February 22nd. We're approaching basically 8 weeks.
It's April 14th.
So his first game back, his first game back after missing several games with the upper body injury against Montreal, he scored an empty net goal. So the last time he scored a goal against a goaltender has been February 22nd. He's played 14 games since then. And he has 1 empty net goal, 3 assists. He's -2, and only 1 of those assists have come on a power play.
So that's one of the questions that you have to answer, right? That's something I don't like. I think you can beat the Devils with a quiet Andrei Svechnikov. I'm not sure you make it much further than that with a quiet Andrei Svechnikov. So there's still things. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, they're good, haha, perfect, everything's all right. But I am less worried about some quiet, maybe calm performances over the last couple of weeks after seeing the direct kind of a discrepancy, right? Seeing Saturday and then seeing Sunday, I went, okay, yeah, looks like they do have some kind of a switch they flip.